Hi everyone, it's David here from Kinetyca. Today we have another session for our GTM podcast here. And we invited Oleg Sobolev. He's the CEO of Go Extrovert and has created a pretty exciting new tool here on LinkedIn. Actually, I'm saying new, but to be honest, it's running already quite a while. And he will tell us more about it. And we will talk also about LinkedIn, AI, Claude, basically everything that is right now happening in social media when it comes to AI, Claude, and the ecosystem there. So, welcome, Oleg. How are you doing today?
Thanks a lot, David. Thanks everyone for listening, for taking the time to listen to the podcast. Thanks a lot for having me. Super excited to chat today.
Yeah, let's start with the first topic. Claude, right? Everybody's talking about Claude since a few months. It's just really all over social media. We are using it ourselves quite a lot as well. We have implemented it in all our processes, and you can see a little bit like a shift in the GTM space, like all the agencies that have been before, like very much focused on clay, are right now shifting into the Claude space, right? So we come from the agency space, but you are in the SaaS universe yourself, right? I mean, you work also with a lot with agencies, but you are actually like leading a SaaS company. So how is it for you? I mean, did this change? Like what happened in the last few months? Did this make a difference for your company? Are you implementing it? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's been crazy. I don't know if you had seen this picture circling around LinkedIn, where there is a LinkedIn feed and Claude is everywhere, like in all the posts, in all the in all the profile pictures and everything. Like everywhere is Claude, and I think it's kind of an interesting time today because on one hand there is a lot of hype around it because people are, I think in experimental phase still. They see the possibilities. They see that there is something that wasn't possible before, and it's of course exciting for everyone. And I think when time will pass, some useful use cases will remain, but some use cases will die off naturally. So for ourselves, it's definitely impacting our work a lot. So obviously, first of all, the product work, like the software itself, we are now implementing a lot of AI development. So we do have full-time engineers, and we don't, vibe code. I don't vibe code myself as a founder, the tool. I wouldn't recommend it for production for sure. But we do implement a lot of AI, workflows in development, and this helps a lot. And I think with Opus 4.6, it was like a shift that really moved the needle, and now we can ship much more features. The other thing what we are doing is we are doing a lot of stuff around the product, like GTM, customer success, customer support, all those kind of things. We are doing micro workflows with Cloud Code, with NA10, and this helps.
Can you give some examples of these workflows, how they look like?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of them. Like for example, we use Atio as a CRM, and we brought a lot of application data to Atio. And I think this is a really big, advantage of Atio. I'm a really big fan for product companies specifically, because in Atio you naturally can bring your users to CRM. So on one hand you look at them as as people, as deals, as CRM stuff. And on the other hand you see them as your users from your app. So for example, we can see what they are doing there. We can see some analytics inside the CRM. We can do even some support stuff. Like for example, we can help them, or our support person can add themselves to their workspace to help them with Extrovert do something. And it was pretty easy to do. We just hacked together some NA10 workflows between our app, ITO, and and the database with NA10. So yeah, it was easy. We do quite a lot of stuff around experimental features. Like I will give you an example. So We have basically Extrovert is a nurturing app. So you have your prospects in there, and you can nurture them with comments, with DMs, with social interactions. And the list building part we don't touch yet. So we don't have any list building. So the user should come with their own list of prospects, and they should build their list elsewhere, like Sales Navigator, whatever, somewhere. And what we did recently is that a lot of people ask us, like, how do we find prospects? We don't know how to, help us to build the list. And from the product perspective, it's pretty big feature. We can't, just go and build it. I mean, we can, but it will take, a month, maybe a couple of months to do it properly, because it's a big, part of the product. So what we did is we hacked together with a separate script, which is not the product itself, which does which is basically an agent that goes through your DMs, through your connections on LinkedIn, and matches them against your ICP. And it filters out like 100 people or 200 people, which you had a conversation before, which match your ICP, and it adds them to your Extrovert, campaign. And we now offering this to our users as basically done for you service. So we just run an agent on their account, and like this we can test the approach, test the feature without even building this. So we are building like around the product. We are building something that is close to the product, but not the product itself.
Interesting. And so this agent is then built with Claude, you say, right? And
Yeah.
or is this okay? And does it go to the browser of the person? I mean, so is this like basically like going to the Claude Chrome extension?
Here we have an advantage because we have them as user of our app as Extrovert, and on the backend we have basically a connection to their LinkedIn. So we just we just connect from our backend to their LinkedIn, and we do it like from there. So we have an advantage that we can basically fetch their DMs, fetch their network, analyze it, enrich everything, all those kind of things. What I would say though about Claude, I think so there is exciting stuff, the stuff that I think will work and stay, and there is hypey stuff. And I think
what is the hypey stuff in your opinion?
Yeah, I think the hypey stuff, in my opinion, is just the basically to automate things that shouldn't be automated. Like there are some things that I believe shouldn't be automated or couldn't be automated. Like it's very hard to automate. Like for example, we deliberately made the choice that Extrovert doesn't have anything fully agentic. Like any message, any comment that is generated should be approved. And we did it for a reason, because if you don't do this, in my opinion, you produce a lot of slop. Like I am the person who is, building the prompts. We are iterating on the models. We are using fine-tuned models, and still, if LLM is producing your sales copy or your comments or anything like that, there will be like a ton of slop. So I think this part should be kept human in the loop, and it's just by design. It's just there is no way around it. It's not because now the model is bad and the model will be better. I mean, there are people who have different opinions on this. There are people who say, "Oh, you just you're living in 2020. Basically, in half a year or in a year, everyone will be automated. Like SDR work will be fully automated. Account exec work will be fully automated." I don't think it will be like that. I think human will stay in the loop, and there will be a pushback against fully agentic flows, natural pushback, because people are tired about this. People are tired about fully AI generated content. Yeah. So I think it might sound very tempting to automate everything it is tempting to me as well. Like when I see this, I'm like, how do I do stuff that I just chill and drink margaritas and everything just runs, But I think this is the hypey stuff. So I think automating stuff that shouldn't be fully automated is just either you will get poor result or you will get just different interface. Like for example, I see this take all over LinkedIn that probably you heard this as well. Like there will be no software. People don't want UI. People don't want to log into the software. People just will use APIs and MCPs. You just don't need to, build UI whatsoever. You just need to build APIs, and people will,
And everybody will communicate over the terminal, basically.
Yeah. To
Yes,
some
sure.
extent, I agree with it, and that's why we are building an MCP server right now to, to help people set up the platform easier, so that they can set up it with Claude or ChatGPT or whatever. But I think it all boils down to the job to be done of the user. If the job to be done of the user is, it's a very, single. It's a single job. Like you are preparing a tax return. Like it's a boring task and it has one result. You need a tax return. It should be correct. So of course, I don't want to, log into my tax software. I have been doing my taxes like 2 weeks ago. I hated every minute of it. I just don't like to see this interface. I want to just press the button. Maybe this thing asks me a couple of questions and be done with it, right? But this is because I don't want to make any decisions. I just want it to be done right. And the result is, singular. The result is the tax return. I think that in sales, it's different because I want to, as a user, I want to be making a lot of decisions for this person. Do I want to be a little bit more salesy? Do I want to push a little bit? For this person, do I want to be a little bit less chill, a little bit more chill, a little bit less salesy, a little bit more cautious? Because there is context that is not in the app, that is like, I don't know, in the conversation. Maybe I know the person personally, maybe I just have my opinion, and I don't want to offload these decisions to an agent. That's why I want to be making these decisions. And when I'm making them, how do I want to interact with my computer? With a terminal or with UI? If I, do a lot of decisions, a good UI will always beat chat. Because good UI is good UI. It's designed to be good. It's designed to be visual. It's designed to be interactive. It's designed to be
Pleasing also, right?
easy.
Visually pleasing.
It's designed to be intuitive, and chat is not like
Yeah.
that. So I think those flows will stay. I don't see like that people will abandon CRMs, that they will abandon the GTM software. I think the boring stuff, the configuration stuff will for sure be changed. But I think there will be something in the middle. It's hard to say, obviously, because it's very hard to predict the future. But I think I'm 50-50 on that. I think it's super cool. But I think there is a lot of hype that will die out.
You touched a few interesting topics here, actually. Let's talk a little bit more about the automation versus human part, basically, right? And because, I mean, yes, as you said, right, it's very tempting to try to automate the whole thing. But at the same time, the problem is, I mean, humans buy from humans, right? And this will always stay like this, right? You will not trust a machine basically with all your hard-earned money in a company in a B2B setting, and so you want to know, okay, who is the other person there on the other side? Do I trust them, right? And you can just trust other people at the end of the day. And so the thing is, yeah, I think, I mean, 100% people are getting tired of it, right? If it's too much, if it's all the time, and and there's definitely a pushback that you can see around this. And for us, it's always like, also when we build these systems, right? The full systems, it's Kinetyca. It's something that we also have to think about, like, where do we automate and where do we keep the human part in it as well, right? Where do we make sure that the messages sound real, relevant, they connect really with the person, right? And it's not just some sequences that just come through. And so the problem is, I think the problem is this AI SDRs, and I mean, this is something that you know, I've seen like since around 2 years now. They're popping up again and again, and you see these messages. Oh, you can fire your whole marketing team, you can fire your whole sales team, because right now you just have this AI SDR. You put them in, they send out the messages, they handle the conversation, they book the meetings, and they close the deals, and they get sent the invoices out, basically, you know. So I mean, the last part, you know, I was joking a little bit, but who knows? Maybe somebody will even add this, right, and think it makes sense. But the problem is, I mean, it will not work because people smell it. They smell it that it's not real. And we tried all these different AI SDR solutions out there that say, hey, just spend $200 a month, basically go to this AI SDR, and it will just do everything, you know, for you. You don't need anything else. You don't need an agency. You don't need any people anymore in your company. You just do this, and this would be all. But the problem is, and when you look under the hood, and we do this, right? We look at all these different software solutions really under the hood, and check all the different knobs that they have, all the different dials, all the LLMs, and all the output. It's always much worse than they promise on LinkedIn. And always when I, like, all these posts, to be honest, when I see them, like, you can fire all your SDRs, you can fire all your agencies, nothing is needed anymore, just this one AI SDR. Yeah, actually, it gets names always, right? Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is Sarah, this is Lenny, this is, I don't know, Mark,
yeah.
right? And
Yeah, but actually, when you, I liked what you said, that when you look under the hood, it's just it's just software. It's just workflow with some LLM calls in the middle. And I think what the software does is there are two different things. So the first thing is, if you can make the quality of your outreach or scale of your outreach bigger, or quality better, with smart personalization, with smart copy, with smart research, with all these kind of things, it's obviously will give you an edge. But there is the other thing, which just makes the usage of these tools easier for the end user. And I feel that a big part of the value prop of these tools is the latter, is just making it easier for the user. Like, say, for example, I don't know, you have Claude, you have Clay, a Clay table that can enrich your prospects, or you have the chat interface in some kind of tool, which is doing basically the same thing, but it's just easier for the end user. It's easier to understand. You don't need to build the workflow. You don't need to build, you don't need to think about enrichment and all those kind of things. They just stitch together this stuff, and you can chat with this thing with the chat interface. But you pay with you just pay with functionality. If you're using the professional tool, you can do whatever you want. You can do like very precise workflow, and you can change it, you can tweak it. But if you're using a consumer tool, I think it's very similar to like you have an audio equipment if you're playing in a band, and it's a professional, recording equipment with all this. It costs money. It's difficult to use. You need to learn how to use it and all this kind of stuff. And you have a consumer, headphones that you can buy from, $200, and they just play, but they are different. And I think that actually the market, especially agency market, is not about the ease of use. You guys don't need the tools to be easy. That's your job to use difficult tools. You can figure out whatever. So I think the edge is where you can make the outreach better. Like the quality is higher or the scale is higher. Like for example, this Claude versus Clay situation, where people say, oh, Clay has 50,000 rows enrichment cap. Like you can't enrich more than 50,000 rows in one table, right? And that's why we ditched it and replaced it with Claude. I can understand this use case. This is a really good use case because you as an agency, you want to enrich, sometimes more than 50K. And that makes a lot of sense to do this. But I can't see where, sustainable, you just want a chat interface to enrich your target audience. I think finding, the right list is very important in outreach. So you need professional tools, you need flexible tools. So that's why maybe the going for a very low level, which is Claude Code. This is super low level, right? You're almost developing software in an agency. Is a logical step because you don't need simplicity, you need flexibility, you need robustness and all those kind of things. So I think if the agentic industry, like as a whole, like people who like in a broader sense, people who build AI SDRs or people who build any kind of agentic workflows, if they figure out how to make them not easy but better, if they figure out this part, it will take off very quickly. But to be honest, I don't think it's possible right now with current LLMs. Maybe it will be possible in the future, but now it is easier, but it's not better. That's my take on this.
Yeah, very, very good. And I think, LinkedIn actually, as far as I know, they have also like an algorithm change actually coming right now up. And in this algorithm change, actually at the moment, it is even happening that that they will look at posts a little bit closer even and look at closer even if they are actually AI generated or not AI generated and take them out if they are, right? So let's talk about inbound and outbound. This is a topic that is pretty close to you, right? To the mission of your company. And well, what does it mean? Like basically a world where you have inbound and outbound, two different spheres that melt together. And this is actually something that I also tell this to my clients, that they shouldn't look at this in silos, right? They shouldn't look at content in silos. Then you have outbound, then you have your ads, but everything interacts with each other and works with each other in a way, right? So what do you think people are getting wrong here, and specifically when it comes to using your product? Why do you think that people might maybe not get this part? Why it's so important?
I think the most important stuff that we are trying to solve, and the most important misconception that I see is that the length of the interaction, the length of the sequence, if you will, for the sake of simplicity, equals the effort that you spend. So let me explain. When I talk to our users, like it can be founders, it can be sales professionals, like sales teams, I always ask them, like, you have your sequence, cold email sequence, or cold LinkedIn sequence, or cold calls, whatever it might be, like how long it is. And usually people say like it's 2 weeks, it's 3 weeks, it's 10 days, whatever. It's just very short period of time. And then I ask them, how long is your average sales cycle? How do you think your problem that you are trying to solve ranks against all the problems in your ICP's mind? Is it something like top 5? And they say, no, usually it's like top 30, top 54. And what is the actual probability that in this 2 week window you will hit your ICP and they will say, oh, this is actually my problem that I care about right now, 2 weeks, and I'm not on vacation, and I'm not dealing with other stuff, and then it's just on this channel that you are reaching out to me. And but usually when I say this, people say, okay, what do I do? Like, I can't afford to make it longer. I can't stay in touch like for 3 months just because I want the pipeline to be moving. I want to, the old leads to go out, and I want new leads to be to pour in. And I think this is the misconception, and I think this is where AI can help a lot. And we are trying to build a product around this concept, where basically we say keep the effort per prospect very low as possible, because of automation, because of using AI help and whatever. But keep your interaction length as long as possible. So basically, stay known as long as you can, but spend as less effort per one prospect as you can. And this was not possible with sequences, because you can't make the sequence very long without being annoying. You can't just pre-program all your messages to within half a year or 1 year, because the context will change, and your messaging should change, and the situation on the prospect side will change. On your side, it will change. So you need more flexible approach. You need the approach that the suggestion of your next message should be contextual. It should react to the change of the situation. So yeah, I think this is the most important lever, and I think it is interesting that it's very few people speak about this. So when I see my LinkedIn feed, a lot of people talk about lists, about being precise. I mean, signal-based outreach, very high precision, enrichment, and building super hyper relevant lists, basically playing the relevance game. And of course, I agree. Relevance is super important. It's one of the most important things that you can do. But it is quite limited. I would say it works very good in some industries where you can be really relevant, where you can fish for signals. In some industries, you just can't use any kind of signals. Like, for example, there is a big hype around social signals. Like, people liked a post about cold email. Maybe they are interested in cold email. No, they aren't. They just are supporting their buddy on LinkedIn, or they are just randomly like some stuff. They are not. It's not a buying signal. It's not a buying intent, right? And so it's limited. This is the one approach, like, be more relevant. The other approach is personalization. Like, how do we personalize the message? How do we how do we make the message stand out? Which is also good, and obviously you need to do this. The other approach is just tweaking the offer, like make the offer too stupid to say no. This is the what everybody tell us, and that's basically it. The other thing is just use more channels or use some tweaks, attention grabbing techniques, like let's send a voice note, let's send a video message, let's send them 2 cents via via PayPal. Someone sent me 2 cents via PayPal with the custom message recently. So all of this can work, but there is another thing which can be super powerful, is just increase the length of the interaction. Like, don't do it within the 2 weeks window. Just do it within 1 year window. And there can be different solutions to that. Like, not just what we are building, staying connected on socials, but produce more content. Do retargeting ads. Build some community around your product or service, like I don't know, webinars, live events, podcasts that we are doing right now. So basically, any way to stay connected to your target audience without being pushy, without talking directly about the sale, about your product or service. And I agree 100% that it should be blended together. It is also a point where inbound blends together with outbound, and also sales blends together with marketing. It's super hard to tell where is which. You're sending cold emails, and for people who have strong brands, cold emails work much better than for people who have no brand. And what is it? Is it a sales activity or is it a marketing activity? Because sometimes when I see a cold email, I don't reply, or I don't try the product. I just make a mental note, oh, maybe I will try next time. And then after I see the post about this product again, I'm like, oh, maybe this is the time to try. So this was like an ad, more like it didn't generate the lead out of me. It generated maybe a touch point. So yeah, it's interesting, and I think we are betting on playing the long game. I don't want to say that other approaches don't work. Of course they do, and I think it also depends on your market and on your product, on your total addressable market. Obviously, if you are selling something which is a painkiller, doesn't make any sense to build relationships with your audience. You just need to blast volume, and you just need to find the pain, and but most products that I see are not painkillers. Our product is not a painkiller. It is useful, but people's business will not die if they don't use it. And with this kind of markets, I think it makes a lot of sense to prolong the interaction window.
Yeah, I think the problem is that everybody wants to have leads right now, basically. No, not today, tomorrow, but yesterday, basically, right? So the thing is that when you propose a solution which takes more time, then people are generally not that much in favor of it, right? But everybody that is in marketing and sales knows, of course, that. You need different kind of techniques, and there are some kind of techniques that take some longer time, where you build the relationship really with the prospects over time, right? And this is something that you are very much propagating since you build the relationships to commenting, right? But here, let's come to the last part, because when we say to the last thing that I wanted to discuss today. When we say that we want to build relationships with people and want to build them over a longer time, right? Then the pushback that might come is, well, but how can you do this if you use AI, right? How can you do this actually if AI is part of it, right? So what do you say there? Like when people come and criticize it in such a way?
Yeah. First of all, I think it's a fair pushback. And we are doing several things to be better. So first of all, the first thing is that the human is always in the loop in the workflow. So there is no automated.
You always click send before it goes out. Actually, So you have to check, right? You make this mental check in between, or like it's part of the flow.
Yeah, all the messages, all the comments. And I personally use it for myself, and I correct most of my comments, even if it's small correction, like even it's punctuation or maybe some kind of just hitting regenerate several times. Sometimes it's an easy job, but still I'm making the final decision whether I want to post it on my behalf or not. So this is the first one. The second thing I want to say is that I think there are two parts of being authentic in your copy. There is what you say, like the content, the actual content of the message and of the comment or whatever. And there is how you say it. It's like your style and how you use words and how you use punctuation, how you use structures, sentences and things like that. So we are trying to be better at both, but still with LLMs, you can't be, you can't be good. You can be 100% human. I will not lie that, our suggestions are like, they are really good. They are probably better than, you would normally expect, but they still need some manual judgment. What we do on the style part of it is that we use fine-tuned models. So we actually fine-tune models on comments, because what we found out, and it was surprising, that if you use DMs and if you use comments, you can't use the same model. We don't use the same model. We are using different models for this because the style of it, the copy is different when you are doing the marketing copy or DM or a post. It's much different than comment. Comment is a very specific style where people, do jokes, where people make weird, punctuation and just weird things. So to replicate this, we actually use fine-tuned model. And on the content side of it, I think the content side is the context side is very very important. And basically the idea is that you don't want to iterate on the post. You don't want to just rephrase the post and give it back to the person, because it's like, you should say something else. You should say, either a joke or your opinion or anything like that. So to do so, if you want to use AI, AI should know stuff about you, because if AI knows nothing about you, there is nothing it can say. It can just, if it just sees the post, it will just, iterate on the post. So what we do on our end is we will let you upload some context about you, like your takes, your opinions, things that you normally would put in your content pillars when you do posts. And also, I think, even without the tool, like there are a lot of people who comment manually. I think they are using VAs, honestly, but they comment in this style. They just iterate on the post structure. They just do, they just rephrase the post.
Basically a great post on this and this, great post on that and that. I mean, it's like, honestly, useless comments, to be honest.
Yeah, and if it's AI, if it's not AI, if it's human, it's all the same stuff. You didn't bring anything back. And I want to be like a little bit like devil's advocate here and say that I think part of the blame is on the person who posted. Because I think there are a lot of posts where it's super difficult to say anything. Because the post is just, we hit 2 million IRR, here's how we did it, we use Cloud Code to do this. So if you don't know the person, what can you say about this? The post itself is a statement, and it is like, it doesn't have any room to discuss.
It doesn't spark a conversation, basically.
Yeah, and it's very like, I think it's part how LinkedIn content is generally, built. It's part of the algorithm or of the culture of the platform, that it's very, you just. There are a lot of statements in the post. It's very, about me, or about, here is the workflow, here is something, and just, here it is. And it is interesting that there is a lot of pushback to comments. Just be creative, say something. But it feels like the audience should be creative and entertain themselves and entertain the post author, while the post author just throws any kind of statements. Imagine a person comes to a room, comes to a party, and says some boasting stuff like, oh, I just raised 1 million, and everyone is like, okay. So it's not a conversation. Like, what do you say? Okay, dude, good. I feel good about you, but what next? So I think part of the reason why it is like that, it's not AI. It's actually a more deep. It's how the LinkedIn's algorithm is working, but I just want to be positive about it, and I want to believe that the content itself will change. I follow some people who post more deep stuff that you actually want to interact with and you actually want to say something about it. And also, what I want to say is that even if it is this simple interaction, like, oh, we hired a person, good job, guys. Like, interaction is better than no interaction, even if it feels like a little bit dumb. Like, okay, it's but we are social, creatures. People interact with each other a lot. Just you talk with your friend on the phone, or with your wife, or with your relatives, or whatever. More often than not, this talk is not about some deep discussion. It's about how your day had been. Oh, I just washed the dishes. It's just about some stuff that doesn't make any sense. It's just being being social. So I think if you are social on social media, it's a good thing. And even if it's like a little bit not deep in the sense of you're not exchanging some deep ideas, it's fine, because it's social media. And I think you shouldn't shame people for this. And I am very against shaming people, like, oh, your comment is stupid or your comment is dumb. I would probably refrain from automating this and being and saying stuff that you don't mean. Like, if you don't mean something, just don't say it. But if you really mean this, and if the interaction is like even simple, it's fine. Even if you don't know a person, just say, just be nice. Just say, oh, good job, I'm rooting for you. I hope you find this person that you're hiring for. Yeah. And also, what I heard from our users is that a lot of people target some difficult industries. Like, we have users who target, hospitals or banks or whatever. And a lot of our users say they post stuff that I don't want to interact with. They post about, just they hired someone, they, released the feature, they did that, I don't know what to say. And I'm always like, when I think about it, I think like, who are you to judge what they should post about? Like, if they posted about this on social media, it means that they think it is important to share. So your choice is to either interact with it or not. And I think that here the interaction is always better than no interaction, because they posted about it on social media. They think it's important. Like, just say something nice. Say, I think it's a great, great step for you that you released this stuff. Even if you don't care this much, it's just, if you are, meeting someone in a queue in a supermarket, and you just smile and say, have a great day. you don't mean, you don't know this person. You're just being nice. It's the same. And I heard from users that it was really interesting. I heard from one user, he's doing cold calls to hospitals. And he said, I didn't like your suggestions on Extrovert because they were too nice. And it didn't feel like it is appropriate for me to post such kind of comments to people that I don't know. And one day I was like, okay, screw it. I will just try. I will just, accept several of them and I will just try. What will happen? Like, I will just accept some suggestions. And he said that a lot of people several people who he cold called, mentioned his comments. They said, "Oh, thanks a lot for for your comments. It was nice." And he said it was surprising for me that people liked when I was nice to them, and it was kind of he made the step of being a little bit more, close, a little
More
bit more
social.
personal, social, yeah, that he would normally do, and it worked.
Yeah.
So I guess, sorry about this long answer. I guess
All good.
I would really, I don't know if we could do this. It's a difficult, task, but I would really want to build the technology that allows people to be a little bit more social, that pushes people
Mm.
to be a little bit, closer to each other, even on
To help
very
them to
light
go
ways.
extrovert, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you are trying to be less social, I mean,
Mm.
automate everything or just just see numbers without the people. I think
Mm.
that's not the way I want to build for. And also, I think it will not work on the long scale because people will just figure out and they will sniff it basically.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for some people it takes a while, right? It's not that easy. I mean, to be honest, for me as well, like just a year ago when I started posting on LinkedIn, it wasn't normal for me at all. I found it weird actually, and I think the same goes for the commenting part, right? It's like a habit that you have to get into the social part here. So the closing question. What is your prediction when it comes to Claude, GTM, and AI in outreach, but specifically in social media by the end of 2026?
Wow, it's a super interesting question. It's really hard to make predictions because everything is changing so quickly. I think there would be this hype wave will calm down. I think we will get better models. I think we will get better integrations, and I think agentic. Like in general, people will get more like agents that will help them with stuff. So people will go less to Google. People will go more to their Claude or ChatGPT to do research. It will affect the GTM as well, and it will affect the social media as well. So I think on one hand, the quote, it will be easier to create content because it will be more easy even than now. But it will be even harder to create good content. It will be even harder to stand out. So it will be this dichotomy where it's available to everyone, but that's why it's more competitive. It's more difficult. So I think I don't believe in that internet theory that everyone will abandon social media. There will be only bots there. I think there will be a pushback from people because it's a natural, it's a natural thing to be connected. It's a natural thing to get cheap dopamine from social media. So I don't think people will abandon it. I think social media will stay, and I think there will be even more slop. But I think good content, if you can figure out how to make good content, people will like it even more. So teams who will figure out how to be active on socials, how to be how to produce long-lasting relationships with their prospects, they will win.
The human touch will prevail, basically. Thank you very much for your insights. This was very insightful, and I'm sure also for your audience, for our audience here. Wish you all the best, and see you soon in our next podcast. Thank you, Oleg. Bye.
Thanks, David. Thanks for having me. Thanks. Bye-bye.